guys, Tech here for another video, and before we get started, if you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses inside, my eyeglasses may have broken, and I'm actually waiting for a new pair. If you guys are interested, this is not a sales video. It does not happen to be a sales pitch, but I actually bought them from iBuyDirect. So the old pair, my daughter may have gotten to them and pulled on them a little too hard, so I'm waiting for those to come in. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses. But I will leave a link in the description if anyone's interested, and a good place to get eyeglasses and sunglasses. This pair I actually have here is specifically a pair of eyeglasses that I turned into sunglasses, and they were only, I think, like maybe $30 or $40 or something like that. So just something to let you guys know, but I just wanted to let you guys know why I'm wearing sunglasses today. So anyway, in this video, hopefully I'm going to show you guys something very useful that I think will be very handy for people who are looking for the best place to put their savings, to put their money to earn interest. And there's a lot of options out there. You guys have probably seen some of the options, like for example, one of the best options out there right now in terms of interest rates is T-Mobile Money. T-Mobile Money offers up to a 4% interest rate on your money, depending on whether or not you have a T-Mobile account. If you have a plan with them and you fit certain criteria, then you can earn up to 4% on your balance. I think it's only up to $3,000, but on up to $3,000, you can earn 4%, which is decent. There are other competitive plans and offers out there with interest rates that go up to 2 and 3%. So they do fluctuate, but what I want to show you guys today is a way that you guys can actually earn 9% interest on all of your savings without having to open up a bank account. And you can do this very easily with only $100 that you actually put in there. And you can do this for as long as you want. It's super easy way to do this. It's just something that I thought a lot of people might not really know how to do, so I figured I would show you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in. I'll make it quick here. What I'm going to do here is show you an app called Voyager. Now, I have mentioned this app on one of my videos. I did crypto-related videos where I talked about the best apps that you can use to download crypto. Now, I'm just going to give you a disclaimer. This is not the only app. It's not the only service or platform out there where you can earn high rates of interest on your money. Now, obviously, when I start talking about crypto, you might be thinking, okay, so this isn't going to be a flat rate. When we talk about something like T-Mobile Money, obviously you're putting in a specific set amount of money. You're not risking anything and you're getting interest on it, right? But you can do that as well with crypto. Here what I have is something called USDC coin, or USD coin rather. It's USDC is the actual verbiage used for the coin itself. And so what you can actually do on this platform, now there's a lot of different options here. This is not the only coin that you can do this with, but this is the one that's going to give you 9% interest. I wanted to show you this because all you have to literally do in order to get 9% interest on all of your savings is you go in and you find whichever platform you want to use. I prefer Voyager primarily because of a couple reasons. Number one, their fees are extremely low. And number two, they're the easiest platform I found to use for crypto trading. But even if you're just trying to find something to get a good interest rate on your money, here what you can do is you can essentially convert your USD into USDC. And when you do that, you can see that the conversion rate is an equal dollar per dollar ratio. You can see it's flat here. What that means is that if I was to put $100 in here, then I'm going to get 9% interest over the course of a year on that $100, and anything above that as well. You can see that the required monthly average here is you have to maintain $100 in there, which is very low, especially considering things like, you know, T-Mobile Money and other bank accounts out there. If you're trying to get an interest rate, for the higher interest rates, you usually do have to maintain certain either amounts in that particular balance, or you have to fulfill a specific set of requirements in order to get a higher interest rate. And like I said, on something like T-Mobile Money, the highest you're usually looking at is something like 4%. This is an insane rate of 9% that you can get. Now, the other thing, too, which actually I'll tell you, this is something that did change because they've actually increased this. And I don't expect it to go down. It definitely could. The only caveat I'll say with this kind of service is that it can fluctuate. So it may not be always 9%. It could be 20% tomorrow, or it could be, you know, obviously something like 5% or something lower. Typically on this particular coin, the rate is much higher because it's stable. It's not going to be something that's going to fluctuate. So you're not going to earn a crazy amount of money if things went up, but it's not going to go down either. So you're just basically getting an even trade. And again, in previous months, this was different. So I think the asking price was 0.000 something or whatever. It was like, or I should say, actually, if I correct myself, it was 0.9999 or something like that. So it wasn't exactly a dollar. If you were to trade it in, basically there would be some conversion rate where you would pay like part of a penny for each of the dollars that you have in here, essentially. So that's something that could fluctuate, but when you're looking at the difference in interest rate, I'll just do a little bit of math here. I won't bore you with a lot of math, but I'm just going to bring a calculator up here and we can do a little comparison of the difference here if you're doing all of your savings here into Voyager or basically converting it into USDC, holding it and letting it accrue that interest versus if you were doing it into something like T-Mobile Money, which has that 4% interest rate. So let's just do the math here. All right, so we've got our trusty Windows calculator out here, and what I just wanted to show you guys is a quick demonstration of the difference here. I mean, I'm sure you guys can do basic math, but just to give you an idea of the difference here you'd be looking at. So if you put in an investment of the minimum amount here, and you look at the 9% interest rate, so $100 obviously going to get about $9 per year versus 4%, obviously that'd be $4, right? But let's just say you have a good savings in there, and we'll do something a little bit more obscure. Let's just say you had $10,000 in your savings, and if you have 9% interest, that $900 versus the, obviously if we do our math here and we look at the difference with a 4% interest rate, I'll redo that here. You're looking at $400 versus $900, right? So that's actually a $500 difference between those values there that you're getting a year. And obviously, if you just do the math there, 4 versus 9%, I mean, 4 versus 8 is half already, so it's more than twice the percentage rate. Just think about whatever you're putting in there, you're basically getting twice that amount. So it's a very good difference, especially when you compare all of the different banks and their options out there. The average is usually, again, closer to that 2% range on the higher end. Outside of T-Mobile Money. T-Mobile Money is definitely the best out there I've seen recently, but some banks are actually offering fractional percentages of like a single percent, like for example 0.07% interest or something really crazy like that. And there's just no reason in my mind that if you're trying to put money into savings that you should be getting less than 1% interest on your money. You just shouldn't be able to do that. So let's just really quick here, I won't again do any more math here because it's pretty basic. I mean, just if you guys wanted to see a representation there, but so ultimately, if you wanted to do this, what do you guys have to do? All you have to do is literally go in here and click on Buy USDC. You're going to fund your balance with the amount that you want to put in there. So let's say if you have in your current savings account, let's just say you're using, T-Mobile Money or Wells Fargo or Chase or whatever, you attach that bank to the Voyager account. And again, if you're using another service, there are other services out there that do give reasonable interest on coins, including USDC, but this is the one that I found to be really the highest. There was only a few other ones that were even competing with this or pretty close to maybe that 10% range, but I did not enjoy those platforms as much. So this was what I felt to be the best deal and the best platform. So if you funded this with, let's just say, $1,000, right? Your available amount would be $1,000, and you can put in here 1,000. It's going to give you a quantity of 1,000 USDC. You slide, you purchase it, and once you purchase it, you'll see how much you own here. And this interest rate, if I hover over this, when you maintain your minimum monthly balance, you're going to accrue that. I believe it's actually monthly as well. So I believe you actually get your monthly interest payments. It's not just yearly, it's by the month, I believe, which I can't remember if all banks do it that way or how every bank does it, but I'm pretty sure that's how you get it here in Voyager. So each month you're going to get your interest, and you're going to see that this $1,000 or whatever you put in there is going to gradually grow over time. And just like a savings account, you can watch it, you can leave it there, you don't have to do anything. It's never going to fluctuate because this is meant to be a stable coin. It's always going to be equal to a dollar. And then at any point in time, any given point in time when you guys want to cash it out, if you want to, use some of your savings, for example, then you have an option to sell your USDC here. And what you can do is just sell that. So if you wanted to take out from what you're essentially using as your savings, if you wanted to take out half of that, take out $500, or if it's increased and you want to take a little bit more out, you just sell the amount that you want to take out, and then it becomes available instantly. Where you saw here this available balance, it's actually going to become a part of your balance instantaneously, meaning that you can immediately withdraw it to your bank account and use it for whatever you want. So if I had to say there was a caveat, the only thing I'd say is that's a caveat maybe is the fact that you would have to wait just maybe a couple of days for that balance that you're transferring to your bank to come across. But considering you're getting more than twice the interest rate on many competing banks, I think it's well worth the wait. Okay, guys, so I did want to show you, now that you kind of understand my idea here, or the possibility of using Voyager to essentially be your savings account, I wanted to show you some other options that you have, and just to give you an idea of what you can do here. Now, as I mentioned, the highest interest rate you're going to get is if you do USDC coin. Now, this is specifically the reason I'm doing this video for, an alternative to essentially a savings account and a traditional bank, is because there's really no reason not to do this. It's going to be a higher interest rate than anything on any bank that you're going to find. So if you're looking for something that's just interest, you're not looking to, jeopardize your money or put any risk into the equation, this is the way to go. It's the highest interest rate. It won't fluctuate, but there's a very low minimum balance. So pretty simple. However, there are other reasons you might want to use Voyager. And there are other ways that you could potentially leverage your savings. And me personally, I do not really have any money in here right now because I don't use my savings to just sit and accrue interest. It is good. I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with that, but I've basically put all my savings recently into different coins because I actually want to, it's riskier, but I'm trying to, obviously make money off of those, highs. And as those different tokens are rising in value, then I'm going to hopefully get my money back and then some by a significant portion on some of these coins that I strongly have, some confidence in that are going to actually eventually rise in value. Obviously there's a lot of channels on YouTube. I probably wouldn't be the best channel to go over the very specifics of some of these cryptocurrencies, but I've obviously done quite a bit of research, and I've made my decisions on the different cryptos that I want to use, that I want to invest in. And in my video where I compare the different crypto apps for trading cryptocurrency, I do talk about and put in the description there just the different currencies that I'm currently invested in. But you can see here, just to give you an idea, what I wanted to show you is the interest rates you can see on Bitcoin, which is, of course, the most well-known cryptocurrency available right now. If you were to invest in Bitcoin, you'd get 6% interest on that, which is great. Ethereum also is a very popular one right now. I mean, this is the second biggest one, essentially in the crypto world right now. And Ethereum, you get a 4.5% interest rate. So again, with any of these other than USDC, there's risk involved because obviously, if you're putting money into any of these coins, if they happen to go down in value or they crash, then your money can really go down with it. But there's also a potential high as well, because let's just say Bitcoin, continues on its current trend and goes up. And even if it's not a huge increase in value, between the increase in value from Bitcoin plus the 6% interest rate, depending on how much you put in there, it could definitely be a good pairing. So that's completely up to you guys how you prefer to do it. If you guys prefer to, make some money off cryptocurrency and you do your research and you feel like you want to invest in something that could potentially significantly increase in value, and especially some of the smaller ones can really, really jump up in value, that's perfectly fine. But the purpose of this video is really just to show you a way that you can very straightforward go in here, convert your money directly 1-to-1 into USDC, and get your 9% interest rate. Now, again, like I said, the only disclaimer here is that this can fluctuate. I will say last month it was 6.5%, 6 or 6.5% interest that I was getting, and they've raised it to 9%. So it is subject to change, but I've never seen USDC coin in the time that I've actually been a member of Voyager. I've never seen it actually go below that 6%. Now, granted, again, I can't say for sure if it will, and I haven't necessarily gone back to the very beginning of time when this first started to see if it's ever been below that. Um, but again, just as it is right now, this interest rate is great. I'm very confident that it's going to maintain an interest rate that's going to be higher than those competing alternatives there because, again, if this was at 4%, this is always going to be higher. So that would mean everything else would have to drop significantly in percentages, which is just really unlikely to happen. So more than likely, you're going to see this percentage either increase or maybe drop a little bit, but it'll almost always be higher than the competition, especially if you're doing any kind of bank. The other thing that's really nice about doing Voyager here is that as opposed to a bank account where you have to open up your own account with the bank and there is an extensive process involved in some of these cases to actually open that bank account. Sometimes you have to wait before you can actually deposit your money into the bank. Also, as you probably know, with most banks, there are some specific requirements. You might have to maintain a certain balance just to have the account open. You might have to spend a certain amount with your debit card. Those are all things that you have to take into consideration. And if you already have an existing bank account which has a very poor percentage of interest rate on your savings, and if that's the only reason that you don't like that bank account, it may be worth it just to maintain whatever bank you're using, whether it's Chase or Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whatever you use. I'm using SoFi right now as one of the ones I'm kind of switching to, but again, there's a lot of different bank accounts, and they all have their own pros and cons, but I haven't found any bank account that's going to match the interest rate that you would get by just doing an even conversion here into this coin and letting it accrue. So check it out, guys. I'm going to leave a link in the description to Voyager where you can sign up. It's absolutely free. There's no cost involved or anything. There's no transaction fees in doing the conversion from US dollars to USDC. Now, I will say this is only US right now. It is going to be going internationally, I believe, in the coming years, maybe as early as next year. I don't know exactly what the time frame is. I do know that Canada is expected to come very soon. The only other limitation is that if you are in New York, I think they have also not added New York in there yet as well. But this is available in every state except New York, and coming to Canada, coming internationally. So for now, this will be mostly for anyone in the United States that is, not in New York at this point. But again, this is a relatively new company. They're a little bit newer into the crypto space than some of the other really big names like Binance and some of these other players and exchanges out there. But it's really a great platform, great way to get interest, and a great way to trade too if you guys are interested in trading cryptocurrency. The fees are extremely low, and if I go into Bitcoin here, for example, there's really not too big of a difference in the price that you're going to pay if you're buying versus the bid price here. So you can see if I was to sell my Bitcoin here, it's going for 11,859. You get it for 11,802 for each of your coins, or then you just do the math for the percentage rate. The asking price 11,909 versus the 11,859. So you can kind of do the math there and see, obviously they are taking a little bit of money based off what they give you or what they sell it to you for, which every single exchange does that. They're just going to vary, but all the other options out there, like Robinhood even, and certainly ones like eToro and some of those other ones that don't directly charge fees but just do this same kind of process, Voyager is definitely very competitive there. But as far as the interest goes, this has definitely been the best option I've found so far. So again, guys, I'll have the links in the description to Voyager. Some of the other things that I talked about in this video I will have in the description as well. Definitely check it out. Let me know what you think about this idea, if this is something you would do, if you guys would actually convert your US dollars into USDC and hold it and use that as your savings, as opposed to using a savings account in a bank where you're going to get less interest. And then, other than that, guys, definitely leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe for more useful information and helpful info that I have coming your way. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.